but I'm a Billy Joel guy, so.
What's ugly? UGLY. You ain't got no lie, you ugly. The next time we're out here in the garage, we're gonna be doing all the grinding.
Welcome back out to the garage for another episode of Cody Builds. Tonight we're going to be working on the frame. Last episode we laid out all the patches for the frame repairs, and tonight we're going to go ahead and we're going to start making those repairs. I've already gone ahead and taken all the cardboard patches that I showed you in the last episode, and I've made the frame patches for those corresponding cardboard pieces. Those are all cut out. They're ready to be put onto the frame. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to get after it because, as you can see around the garage here, I've got boxes everywhere, and those are the QA1 suspension system. I am excited to get that suspension installed, so I want to get after getting this frame repaired, painted, and ready for that suspension. So we're going to get right to it tonight, and we're going to start welding in these patches. First place we're going to start tonight is with the cab mount here. I've got my corresponding patch, cardboard patches, just to make sure the orientation is right when these go in. I've got the patch cut down, and what I'm going to do, it looks like I probably need to clean up the edges of this patch first. And then once I've got that cleaned up, we will lay this down right on top of the frame here. We're going to mark out our cut lines. And that's going to tell us exactly what we need to remove in order to weld this patch in. I don't want to use the cardboard because there might be some slight differences. You know, this is not the most accurate way in the world to template something out. So we want to use the actual metal patches once we've got them kind of ground into shape. To lay out what we're going to actually cut off the frame. So I'm going to put on a flap disc here, clean this up, and then we will mark out our frame. All right, I've got the patch trimmed down now. We're just going to take a marker in here and we're just going to outline this patch. And what we're going to shoot for here is we're going to trim this patch down. We're going to trim this area down. We're going to shoot to leave the marker. Since we're marking along the outside of the patch here. We want a nice tight fit of this. It's a tight area, so you know, in some areas we may have to take a little extra, but for the most part we want this patch to be pretty tight to the frame. Okay. So that is what we're going to remove, all that inside area there. We're going to set this down inside here, and then we're going to tack that in and eventually weld it all up. So I'm going to grab the cutoff wheel, and we'll start trimming some of this out. Okay, so I beveled this at about a 45-degree angle through about half the thickness of this plate. As thin as this is, I don't think we need to do too much more than that. So the next thing we're going to do here, you can see if I get this in where it needs to be, that beveling that weld gives us a nice little trough for our weld to sit in all the way around. So that's going to allow that weld to penetrate. I got a little bit of a gap in the back corner here, but that's not really much to worry about. I can fill that with wire. It shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple magnets, get this thing held in place, and we'll get the welder out and we'll get this tacked in. Alright, so I'm getting this kind of lined up where I want it, and I'm pretty flush on the back side, so I'm just going to throw a tack. Throw one tack in the back just to hold that into place. And then just gonna figure out where I want it on the front side here. That feels pretty good there. And I'm just gonna throw a tack in the front side. Like that. Throw one up here. Okay, throw one in the back. Okay. I wanted to bring you in here for a bird's eye view of the patch we're doing on the front crossmember. So take a look here. I've got the patch just fit in, and you can see how nicely that fits. It's friction fit in right at the moment, actually. So what I'll do now that I've got it fit the way I want is we will bevel the edge of the plate all the way around, and I'll bevel the frame just a little bit, and then we'll stick this back in and we'll get it welded up. All right, just got back from a break here. Had to go grab a bite to eat here. We've been busting butt this morning. We got one half of the frame here fully welded up. We don't have all the grinding done, but I'll show you here. We got the front patches done. Those are ground down. We got the cross member welded and ground down. That's our first cab mounts welded, ground down. The back is all welded in, but not ground. So there's our cab mount in the back. Nice big patch there. That turned out pretty good. Had to put in a little bit of extra weld in the top here. There's a little bit of extra rust kind of where the top of that met the patch. And the back was a little crusty too, but it turned out okay. So yeah, we got half of it to go down here. We got the other half to go. We're going to bust butt tonight. I'm not going to do too much talking because I want to get this thing knocked out. I want to basically have all the welding done this evening. That way I've got about a week here. That gives me enough time to prep the frame, get it painted before next Saturday. So yeah, so I'm probably not going to be talking at you too much here. We'll just get right back to work. So I was thinking about one thing. I was listening to some music while I was doing this, and I was listening to some Billy Joel. And I have this theory about Billy Joel. My wife is a big Bruce Springsteen fan, and I am not. But my wife does not like Billy Joel. And I have this theory that you like one or the other, but not both. So you guys tell me down in the comments, who do you like? Do you like Billy Joel, or do you like Bruce Springsteen? Or do you like both? Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm a Billy Joel guy. So, okay, let's get back to it. Let's get back to welding here. Ugly. UGLI. You ain't got no you love me. All right, we're killing it today. We got all the patches on the frame done. So I'll bring you over here and take a look. Down this side here, we got our back patches done. Haven't done any grinding on this side, but that's okay. I went ahead, I started filling in holes. There's about 40 holes just between cab mount and where I split the frame. 40 holes. That's all I'm gonna plug because we're gonna be using some of these holes for the conversions, the QA1 conversion in the back, likewise ahead of the cab mounts here. So I went ahead and plugged all those from the front and the back side. We'll have to grind all that down, clean it all up. But we got our cab mounts fixed, front and back. It's looking good. It's looking really good. It feels good to make that much progress today. The last thing I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug the other 40 holes on that side of the frame, and I think I'm going to cut the cross member, this back cross member down, and get it welded into place.
And then I'm probably going to call it a night. It's been a long day. I've been out here coming up on 12 hours. So long day, but a lot of progress. We're kicking butt today. I didn't stop and talk to the camera too much, but that's just because we were busting butt trying to get things done. Yeah, so I'll get the camera set up here. We'll get these last few holes welded up, and then we'll clean up for the night. That's going to wrap it up for tonight. We got a pile of work done. I'm so thankful that I have the time and the means to be working on this project, and that all of you are supporting the channel and watching the videos. You know, I just want to say I'm thankful also for my wife, who's very understanding of this hobby, and you know, the time spent away from her. You know, I'm very thankful to have her and to have her support. So yeah. The next time we're out here in the garage, we're going to be doing all the grinding. It's going to be a long night of grinding because it's got to all get done in one night. We're going to be doing the last little bits of prep for the QA1 kit. We've got a little bit of frame to cut out in the back, in the arches, and on the underside of the frame. We've got a couple little tiny things to weld up. We're going to get all that done on the next video. As well as I'm hoping to get the final frame prep done and get this thing primed. We'll see. I'm hoping we get that far. I'd really at a bare minimum like to have this thing in primer before we start putting the suspension kit in. Ideally, I would really like to have this thing painted and ready to go. Let's take one final look here at everything we got done. So, you know, I'm going to come around to this side. My frame looks like it's got chicken pox now. So many holes. I think it was close to 80 holes plugged. And I plugged them from the front and the back. I did the back side. I just kind of mounted up some weld in there so that I could go in and grind all that down smooth, and I wouldn't have a bunch of low spots and grooves in the frame. On the inside of the frame, we got all of our frame patching done. I did get the cross member tacked in back here. The other thing I'm super happy about, I wasn't sure about, I've got enough room for the fuel cell that I'm looking at purchasing for this truck. So it'll just clear by about a ½ an inch in front of each cross member. We'll have to trim the mounts down and make it work, but that's easy. There's just making sure we had the room for it. So yeah, that's gonna do it for tonight. Thank you all for watching. Remember, if you're not working on your project, it's not going to work on itself. Get out there, get building, and I'll see you next week.